I can get over things. I don't fall to the floor and crawl up in a ball the way that I used to.
Sort of calming down, realising the importance of like foundational things.
Before I have no days off, I'd be getting fucked up them days, you know? Now I have to use my time wisely in that sense.
There's a lot of myths that surround creative achievement, but one of the strongest says that an artist's best chance to break through and create their most energetic and powerful work is between the ages of 18 and 30. This story of a young, uniquely talented artist whose work signals some generational change in culture is simple, appealing, and just like the cycle of iPhone generations, an important part of the sales model and media train that follows after it.
Hysteria. We got a lot of attention. Teen spirit was kind of played into the ground. Kind of made me feel a little self-conscious. What do you guys think of hysteria?
Oh, it's a load of shit.
Now don't get me wrong here, I'm not trying to be a hater, and we can understand that there is a particular kind of work that an artist is most likely to make at that stage in their life. But the fact is, for most people, they're going to have their best chance to put time into their creative passions and realise those goals at a later stage in their development.
For me, I feel there's a lot of growing pains. That's what my album is about, and sort of dealing with love and loss and letting my voice sort of be heard, that little bit more honest with myself and with other people. And also at the same time being confident in my own sort of vision and the way I feel.
So in this video, I'm going to be talking to all artists who have moved out or are currently on their way out of those hashtag golden years of creative achievement. And I'm going to be drawing out 3 key points of leverage that any artist who feels behind with their creative goals or is thinking that they're too late can use to catapult their success into their late 20s or well beyond.
I don't think I could have happily stayed here in the world if I did not have a way of thinking about it, which is what writing is for me. It's mine, it's free, it's pure knowledge.
Now, as usual, I'm going to be putting down the tools that have come out of my own research and experience with this. But if you have a useful tip that you'd like to add, or an experience of your own or place where your opinion differs, please do feel free to add it in below and increase the value of the page here for others. And with all that said, let's jump into it.
Yeah. Come on. It is how your soul sounds when it's trying to talk to you.
I spoke in my last video about how we can practice ownership over our creative goals, and it's that self-determination that we can look to find as an adult that can be so transformative in terms of managing to achieve those things in adulthood that seemed hard to grasp when we were younger. Now maybe this isn't true for you, but as a young person, we're not always in the best and most stable place to learn or put down positive structures in our life. But as we mature, we do often get a greater opportunity to extract ourselves from some of that chaos, take more ownership of our achievement and learning, and use the huge value that can come from a more structured and systematic approach.
You know, days off, shit, I'll be getting fucked up them days, you know? Now, that's not a part of my life anymore, so I have to use my time wisely in that sense. Try to keep, you know, production shit with me, try not to be online as much.
Student of the game for me is the most crucial thing. Staying student-minded is the most crucial thing. And I feel like I didn't really put everything I had into music until I was way older. And so many of those years, if I had spent even just 6 to 8 months working my hardest at anything, I could have taken it so much farther, so much earlier.
Simple tools like forming daily habits around our practice, understanding the importance of putting dates in our calendar where we're going to step outside of our comfort zone with our skill and keep things fresh, or seeking a group of like-minded people who we can meet to talk about our projects with and form partnerships where we hold each other accountable to our goals, can all add to this system that we can then apply to any skill that we want to learn or goal that we're looking to achieve.
It's really about me challenging myself. I think my excitement in doing music is me feeling like I'm never stagnant, stepping outside of my comfort zone and mastering it.
For the most part, man, even when I'm not inspired in that sense, I like to study. Like I would just go and look at old sets or, you know, study other musicians or, you know.
I've said it before on this channel, but for most of us, when it comes to our ability to carve out time and pursue the things that we want to learn and achieve, then the creative life is usually not short, it's actually very long. And anyone who tells you that it's too late is probably either misguided or just simply trying to sell you something. And it's with that understanding of how important a growing self-awareness about how we learn and achieve things is, along with the perspective around how much we can actually achieve in a committed 5 or 10 year chapter of our lives, that I want to move into the second key piece of leverage that we have as more mature artists, and that's our ever-growing depth of experience.
そうですね。アーティストになる前に別に他の仕事を探した方がいいと思うんですけどね。まずはですね、いろいろな経験を積んでアートというのはやっぱり人間としてある一つの含みがないとっていうか、世界をどう理解するかということをアートで表現できる人というのは非常に少ないわけですから、まずはアーティストになろうと思う前に世界がどうなっているのかを知る旅に出てほしいですね。
I wanted to start with a simple question that I think all artists and creatives, whether trying to make pop music, write a piece of fiction, or find their own unique illustration style, can probably find useful. What experience or experiences have you gone through in life that have been most significant to you, have most shaped who you are, or changed how you see the world?
I play music usually because it's the first thing that I get up in the morning and think about. I wake up with music in my head, and I go to bed with music in my head at night. You know, the 23-year-old me, I'm 37 now, is on this record. 28-year-old me is somewhere on this record. The 30-year-old me is somewhere on this record. And the 37-year-old me with 2 kids and a wife is on this record. Everything that I've done kind of leads up to this, or all those things belong, and they're in this record. Everything I've ever done.
Now I wanted to pull in country and blues music here because as a genre, the really powerful pieces of work feel so directly seated within that first-hand individual experience. We can see this in the lyrics and storytelling, but also in the way that the music is delivered. The grit and raspiness of the artist's vocal tone, increasing the emotional resonance of a song, and giving a direct window into the experience that lays behind it.
Lilac wine is sweet and heady, like my love.
I can get over things easily. I don't fall to the floor and crawl up in a ball the way that I used to. And I kind of learned a lot about the voice and how our experiences affect our voice. Just all those stories that, like, it's just amazing to me that the public kind of thinks that there's no gap of time that they didn't see that could possibly be what led to this.
When we approach our own work, whether we're a writer, painter, designer or producer, we can take that idea of the gravelly and raspy voiced country singer and ask ourselves how the depth and individuality of our own personal experience is being expressed to the audience through the piece of work that we're creating.
I dreamed of the day when I'd hold you in my arms again, read you all the letters I wrote, never sent.
Music became that conduit in which I could get all of my things from here and from here out to the world. Once I started realizing what a tool music could be and how therapeutic it could be, it really took off for me then with the writing and singing.
By keeping the focus of our work on the things that have directly shaped and affected us in our lives, and maintaining the arrow of progress firmly pointed towards what feels individual and really true, we can move away from the pitfalls of mimicking others and use our growing maturity to create work that's truly original and powerful to the audience.
Going to these writing sessions every day with different producers, and you don't have any background of these people, and you're sort of put in this room and these 4 walls, and it's like, write a song. And so I started to like develop a callus in terms of like, all right, this is what it is. Whereas to before, it was very much so like every line was a disclaimer. It is personal. It's a personal story. Those are the ones that really kind of just roll off of your tongue and kind of, you know, you just spit out and you're like, well, where did that come from? So there are parts of writing that can be extremely therapeutic.
The effort to create work around our experience might see us pulling away from forms of art that we see expressed in mass media. But this is where we can use that growing maturity and recognise the power in creating work that's honest and true, even though it might resonate with a smaller community of people.
Knowing I was making music that I actually wanted to listen back to, you know, and it got foggy at times, I think, throughout the end of BH, because there's a lot of stuff I was doing, just me personally, when it was like my turn to go up to the mic, I was kind of doing stuff that was just like fan service, I think, or at least this idea I had in my head of what I thought our audience wanted from me. And with this, it kind of just felt like I could just start over and make something that was true to me in that moment. And that's really all I've ever wanted to do. And it was nice to, like, you know, find that confidence within myself to allow myself to do that.
By gaining more perspective on how our work doesn't have to sit within the needs of mass culture, we can start to grow more creative freedom and move towards the third key point of leverage that I want to look at now, and that's around the idea of purpose. I just wanted to pause for a quick moment to say that if you'd like a longer audio discussion of these topics, you can come and find the Creative Minds podcast over on the Patreon now. There's a 7-day free trial available there, and if you do enjoy it, it's the price of a coffee per month to get all that paid material that I put out there, as well as having the understanding that you're actively supporting the creation of this free educational material that's positively affecting artists and creatives of all kinds and all ages. Peace if you come and check it out, and on with the video. By gaining more perspective on how our work doesn't have to sit within the needs of mass culture, we can start to grow more creative freedom and move towards the third key point of leverage that I want to look at now, and that's around the idea of purpose. Here we can reflect on and start to reframe what doing our best work as a creative or artist is actually going to feel like or mean to others.
Oh, I had been trying to write a good abortion song for a really long time. I felt like this is a songwriting subject I'd been battling for 20 years, and I finally sat down and was like, I think I know how I need to do this. And I went to my blog and I said, I'm going in to write this song. I think I know what I want to say and how I want to say it, but will you tell me in your own words what you would say to former you on the way to an abortion? I didn't necessarily cut and paste lyrics out of that blog, but the sentiment carried over. And I'm really, really proud of the song. I think it's one of the best songs that I've ever written, and I'm really proud of the video that I made to go along with it.
Recently I was talking to a friend of mine who's a really passionate lifelong guitarist. He's someone who's played for a number of bands in his 20s and written solo stuff too. And now in his 30s, he was telling me how he's approaching writing music and playing out live in a different way. As a younger person, he'd been focused on the idea of making it, or a pressure to find some kind of route to building a career from his passion. And now he'd grown to a place where he didn't have to hold all that anymore and could actually enjoy the process of writing and playing way more.
If you're writing something that's true to you, then it could never be a writer's block. You only get writer's block when you trying too hard to be something, trying to be dope, trying to write some ill shit, like, damn, it's not ill enough, you know? But if you always just rapping about what you're going through, or, you know, rapping about life, or, you know what I'm saying? It can't be a writer's block, because it's so much content from that.
That ability that we have as we get older to increase the perspective we have around our work and hold that creative process in a lighter and freer way is actually going to give us the best chance over time to doing the most powerful work that we can.
I found it really frustrating on a major label that the way we wanted to do things as a band and the way we wanted to take care of and connect with and communicate with our fans was just mocked and disrespected. A lot of them didn't even really understand the material because it's not the kind of stuff they ever would have listened to. Mm-hmm. But, you know, as I toured around endlessly with the Dresden Dolls, I saw that material resonate really hard with a lot of people. And I believed those people.
Ready?
We're rolling.
God help the child. It's not my fault. So you can't blame me. I didn't do it.
I'm giving myself permission to write books that do not depend on anyone's liking them, wrote Nobel Prize winning author Toni Morrison. Because what I want to do is write better, and a writer does not always write in the way that others wish. What Morrison is telling us here is that by extracting ourselves from this reliance on outcome, the key factors around our own developed individual taste and our ability to express ourselves honestly are actually going to be allowed to come through in our work.
For me, I feel there's a lot of growing pains. When I listen to it, it's kind of like just a document of sort of the 2 years I've had in my life, sort of the reflection on the depth of caring, or the depth of the people who've cared for me, I think I would say.
Okay, I think that's enough of me talking now, but another invitation to add any of your own experience, tools you've used, or other ways you might discuss the issues that I've talked about today. Now, if you want more guidance about thinking about how you can use your individual experiences and skills to create original art, I'm going to link a video on the screen now that I built specifically around that topic, and I hope we'll have some more key learning points to take away. Check out the newsletter link below for some additional notes on the video. And with all that said, thanks for watching, and peace in whatever you're working on until next time.
Un peu retardé par mon manque d'expérience, mais la procédure ne change pas toujours en danse. Ces jours-ci je me fais beaucoup plus confiance, du coup le processus avance pendant que je danse, yeah.